while the horizon burned with the threat of war. I don't know that I give a damn for the prophets in their eyes. All I want to know, are we going into the heart of the storm, into the heart of the storm. They're waiting by the shore, the ships are bound to go, but all the king's men can't mend it so. Don't be long, the wind won't wait for you when you're lying on the ground. Can you feel the rain washing over into the heart
Nice to see your faces, or part of them. This is All Souls, and I guess you know that if you found your way here. We are still doing a learning curve on doing hybrid services with part online and part in person, and being maybe overly cautious with our pandemic provisions. But we're trying to be mindful of the most vulnerable among us, and there are a bunch of kids that are still not vaccinated. So, welcome. Like I said, this is a church built on covenant, not creed. We are together in our promises of who we try to be in the world and how we try to be with one another. It's not easy to always communicate and listen across differing paths and opinions, but that's our covenant and that's our creed. Each week, I am asking the people present if they are comfortable with the speaker, whoever is right here, all this distance away, taking their face mask off so that you don't have to watch a blank face the whole service. So if you are uncomfortable with that, would you please let me know? I mean, it's fine if you do, but please let me know. Okay, thank you. Okay, we front load these services with some information about what's going to be going on during the next week. And I think as we move more and more towards a return to in-person activities, we may start again limiting the announcements and not try to include everything that goes in the newsletter. But that's in the future. We're still walking. We will let you know what's going on this week. Something I want to mention, and it's probably in the announcements already, but is that next week is scheduled building and grounds. Saturday is the day, the second Saturday is the day once a month when we come out and do what we can to help care for the building and the grounds. And this is the responsibility of the membership. We don't have other people that do this except for a grounds crew that comes every other week to mow. All of the hedge trimming and all of the gutter cleaning and all of the wax and cobweb removal falls to us. So I would like to invite you to that, but also next week I want us to do the preparation, like digging the hole and mixing the concrete and pouring it to plant our replacement rainbow feather banner. We've had a number of them stolen and broken or driven over, and so we keep replacing them. But each time, the pole from the last time has grown into the ground, and we can't get it loose, so we have to dig a new hole and pour new concrete. And I would like us to do that next week, because part of next week's service will be planting that feather banner out at the street, hopefully. The weather looks like it's going to be good and accommodate us for that. And I would like for us to have it up well in advance of Pride Month. And so I want to invite you to that. And I will invite our board president, Sally Wood, to come give you some other announcements.
Good morning, everyone. So glad to see your faces. And I invite everyone who is home right now watching to start getting in the habit of coming, because it really revives your soul. We have our Giveaway the Plate this month for the Power Coalition of Equity and Justice. Each month we dedicate our part of our pledge to a body of work, organization that embodies our principles. And for the month of March, we selected the Power Coalition for Equity and Justice. It's an organization working locally and statewide to amplify the voices of those who are ignored and organize them into a unified movement. You can pay online, and if you're paying your pledge, put 2022 pledge, and if you're paying for the coalition, put collection plate in the form. You can also pay offline by writing us a check, and we like that, and just send it to All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church, 9449 Ellerby Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71106. And on the check, you can write what percentage is for pledge and what percentage is for the Power Coalition. Next Tuesday is our weekly Zoom lunch. You can bring your lunch and meet up with All Souls friends and just catch up. It's a nice place to visit. We have on Fridays the late night Salty Chalice. It's instead of going to a pub or a club or a coffee house, you can go online and meet with like-minded people and have a gay old time talking and enjoying yourselves. Saturdays, Larry Andros will be having his weekly meditation. This is a Buddhist meditation, and part of it is meditating, and the part of it is a lesson on Buddhism. The sponsor circles are in works. It's a group of church members who have formed to help support Afghani refugees. And it's a big responsibility, and they need people, and they need you. So talk to Bennett Upton or Susan Caldwell, or look online and go to where the site tells you to offer your services. The Volunteer of the Month is for February. I didn't look at that. It's for March. It's Kathy Osage. She's an incredible volunteer for our church and does marvelous things, from filling out 501c forms, being a secretary of the board, being in religious education and worship service, and trained facilitator for the Alternatives to Violence project. And we are going to be using that facilitator services a lot this year to help fulfill our board's vision statement. Thank you, and welcome to All Souls Church.
Miss Susan?
Oh, that was delightful. You may or may not realize that we make the weekly email from a template. And so, yes, we have honored Kathy for the month of February, and we're delighted to do that because of how very, very much she does for the church. And our volunteer of the month for March actually is going to be Larry Andros, who, you know, we thought about it. Larry has volunteered his time every Saturday for years and years in person and then on Zoom, offering his meditation group, which if you haven't gone is a really wonderful thing. And also now he's been joining us every week virtually to do the meditation for our services. So it's high time. And I don't know how much he will actually use the parking place, so we're going to have to figure out something really nice and wonderful for Larry. But anyway, thank you, Larry. We so appreciate you. And I believe Sally covered everything else. The only other thing I would say, is that next week, as Reverend Barbara said, we are hoping to have an outdoor service. This will be a multi-generational kind of celebration of all being back together. So we invite y'all to bring your kids. It will be a service for all ages, and part of it will be that we will go out and plant the rainbow flag that has gotten stolen with a new sign that Brittany Turner gave to us that says, if you steal this flag, we will give a donation to an LGBT positive organization every time that you do. So we're looking forward to putting both of those up. And The other thing is adult religious education, which for now is remaining on Zoom, and we're going to begin to talk about if it would come back in person. But we have a number of people who are still pretty comfortable with that arrangement. And our next thing will be, we are going to be reading the book Me and White Supremacy by Layla Saad. Layla Saad is a black Muslim woman who does a podcast called The Good Ancestor. If you've never listened to that, I really recommend that you do. And she has done some incredible anti-racism work, and this is a book that includes a journaling practice. So we are hoping you'll think about joining us for that if you're not already a part of the Adult Religious Education group. The link is always in the weekly email. And if you're not on the weekly email, you can sign up online or just leave a note up at the front that you would like to be added. Thanks. That's all.
Thank you, Miss Susan. Thank you, Sally. If you got here without a mask, we have some at the door, and we remind folks that we are still in that kind of a protocol. It's a good time to relax your shoulders, let them fall away from your ears, and take a couple of deep breaths. Allow your thoughts and spirits to be where you are for a moment before they go racing off again. And in its Old English roots for elevating and contemplating matters of worth, let us enter a spirit of worship. It's said that ministers are here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. I say that we are all afflicted and we are all comfortable. May our time together this morning be a comfort and a confrontation. May we find peace in times of tumult. May we invite tumult into lives of peace. May we here find calm in time of restlessness, and may we here allow restlessness to evolve to action. Let this be the place you consider what you've never considered. Let this be the place you imagine for yourself something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being in the world. Come, let us worship together. Let us reach the place of self, the place that's not alien to truth. Let us wash over with peace and serenity, with fierce longing for light and heart, with living strength that flows in our veins, bringing ourselves into fearlessness and into trust. I would like to invite our young people, Ava Kate, to lead our first part of our chalice lighting. Jackson, are you joining her? You want to lead it first and then light the chalice?
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
Thank you. Oh, this lighted so you have something to light it from. Okay. You can step up if you want. It's good. It's just hard to see it. Thank you. Using a spark of hope, we kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and of peace. And also today, let our chalice symbolize our unity with the people of the world. In honor of those who are serving to lift up justice and peace. For those who have served, are serving, and will serve peace in war around the world. We offer our thanks for the service of those with courage and commitment when it's hard to come by. Would you join me, please, in our unison affirmation? The words will be on the screen, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit to say it with us. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into the harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. I would invite you to remain standing and join me in singing just the first verse of Love Will Guide Us. Guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will be Thank you. I would like to invite our board representative, Rebecca Tuggle, to come share some of her thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you, Reverend Barbara. Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody today. Hopefully you'll be able to come and join us, those of you at home that are watching. All Souls brought me back to spirituality, which is something that I had separated myself from for a long, long time. It was safer to do that. I grew up Catholic, and so there was always the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and deep in my heart, I always knew that we were all one, that we were all talking about the same thing, or at least I was pretty sure that we were. And it was not until we moved here in 2015 that I decided I needed to get back to that. And the Catholic Church was just not going to do that for me. So finding this place and keeping this place going is something that not only gets me started and moving in the morning, but one of the things that keeps me coming here. It has helped my peace, it has helped my sanity, and the last 2 years, I have to say that has not been an easy thing to accomplish. Some of you may not know, I am a registered nurse at Willis-Knighton, and it's been a rough 2 years for a whole lot of reasons. And when things just don't seem like they are coming together or like they ever will, I know that we're together here. And I'm very happy to be here, and that's why I keep coming here. And I hope you will too. Thank you.
So, an old protest song. If you would join me, please. I think it will sing easier if you stand in body or spirit. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, study war no more. I ain't gonna 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 study war no more. Gonna shake hands around the world, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna shake hands around the world, down by the riverside. She with the many hats.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask Ava Kate to come and help me. Can you come and help me? Just hit the down button whenever I ask you to. Thank you.
We're not getting called on child labor, are we?
We are totally calling on child labor. And am I okay to stand here? Are you good?
Well, let's swap to the.
All right. Can you hear me okay? And I will try to enunciate because I'm wearing my mask, but I'm really kind of close to Ava Kate, so I don't want to take it off. So I kind of call this being peace from the other side of the world. Reverend Barbara today is talking about how can we be peace in this world. And how can we be peace when there is so much war and so much sadness and strife going on so far away from us? What can we do? And I call this a conversation for children and parents about the war in Ukraine, because maybe you are a parent who wants to talk to a child. Maybe you are a child who needs to have some conversation with your parents. Maybe you are a grown-up who would like to have conversations with the children that may be in your life or with other grown-ups. And how do we talk about this? And so, Ava Kate, if you'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So I think, first of all, it's always good if you have a map or a globe, and you can kind of show. Ukraine is the little country right next to the big country, Russia. And the big country, Russia, has invaded the little country. And if you look over here, the little red circle is around Louisiana, where we are. And so when you talk about this, you can kind of think about trips that you make. Maybe you go to grandma's house. Maybe you go to a friend's house right here in town. Maybe you've gone out of state to California or wherever to visit family. If you can kind of compare the distances, like show them on the map the legend, like how many miles does this little space represent, and how many of those to go to grandma's versus how many of those to go to Ukraine. It's a long, long way away. And so that's one thing, to kind of just get oriented in the world. And next one, Ava. And this is just a little closer view. And as you see, this is a smaller country right next to Russia. And then this shows the other countries in Europe. And you can go ahead and go to the next one. This war was chosen only by the president of Russia, because he wants what is not his, and that's wrong. That's even more wrong than, say, someone who doesn't even live in your house goes into your room and says, you know what, all of this stuff is mine, and I'm taking it. It's wrong. It is wrong. That's right, Jackson. It is very wrong. So you can go ahead to the next one, Ava. Most, I would say, of the Russian people do not want this war. A lot of Ukrainians are their friends and relatives. I forgot that first picture I showed at the beginning was actually of a peace rally that took place at the border between Russia and Ukraine. There are people related to each other. There are people with lifelong friendships. These are two very closely related. There are a lot of Russian speakers in Ukraine. So many of these people are protesting, even though they can get many years in prison just for protesting. That is how strongly so many of them are against this war. Some of you kids have been to protests with your parents. I know. I've seen you there. All of you, or a lot of you, I've seen at protests. None of you are in prison. And so this is something to think about. These people are taking great risk to oppose their president. Go on to the next one, Ava. Many Ukrainians have become refugees. Sometimes they've had to take shelter in the subway with their pets, or they've had to leave their towns or their country, often on foot, often carrying only whatever they can carry, not knowing if they'll go back home. Right now, we just talked this morning about the sponsor circles that are trying to help Afghan refugees that will be coming to Shreveport. There are refugees from different countries that have run into situations, whether it's natural disaster or whether it's war, and so often, sadly, it is war that drives them away from their homes. And so if you go to the next one, we'll maybe read some of these as in the future, either when we start our classes or here in the service. But I already talked about how their countries have become too dangerous. And these are some good books that families can share about refugees. One is What is a Refugee? That kind of talks about the whole situation. Lubna and Pebble is about a little girl in a refugee camp who has this pebble that she's drawn a smiley face on, and she ends up giving it to another little boy when she gets to go on to a new home. And then Lost and Found, the true story of Kunkush's incredible journey, which is how a little girl had her cat and got her cat back. I feel like that preview of a movie that's on right now that says, "Don't worry, the dog doesn't die." You know, it's just like, "Don't worry, the cat comes back." Anyway, I think, do one more, Ava, I think that might be it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. So our country and other countries are trying to get the Russian president to stop this war. They're doing this by stopping the sale of a lot of things to Russia, stopping buying things from Russia. This woman in the middle, Linda Greenfield Thompson, is our ambassador to the United Nations, and she has made some very strong speeches about this. The world, a lot of the world has come together to try and get the Russian president to stop. And I think, let's see, go one more, Ava. Mr. Rogers used to say that when scary things happen, look for the helpers. So we find out who is helping, and we find out how we can be helpers. One thing you might want to do, go on to the next one, Ava, is there are several organizations here. One is the International Rescue Committee, one is Save the Children, and our own Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, go on to the next one, has an emergency response fund on their page, so you can go to the UU Service Committee page. It should kind of pop up, or if you want to with your phone right now, you can scan this QR code. But that information will also be in the comments on the Facebook page. We'll make a separate post on our Facebook page. We'll try to really get you this information. Thank you all for listening. I hope you will talk to each other. I hope you will talk to your kids. And we continue to pray. We continue to hold the thought. We continue to send that energy to our neighbors, to our fellow human beings in Ukraine. Thank you.
Just parenthetically, the current director of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee is Mary Catherine Mourn, who was ordained in this congregation. So for the whole UUA, she's the director of that organization, and Mary Catherine was ordained by All Souls Unitarian Universalist of Shreveport. So.
Sometimes I lie under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray you'll take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason.
Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down.
Get me down.
So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because
all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more wars. Us children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, I pray.
Good morning. First, thank you so much for that wonderful honor. I'm very grateful to have these opportunities to share with all of you. For today's meditation, let yourself find a comfortable position, one in which your spine can be straight. Begin with a deep, comfortable breath, shifting your attention to your heart space. And imagine breathing in and out of your heart. Allow your breath to deepen and slow. Allow your breath to be soft and kind. As you center here and now in this sacred moment, reflect. Throughout my life, I have longed for peace. Peace as shelter from life's many storms. Peace as healing for its many pains. Peace as an end of strife and violence. Peace as a bridge across the misunderstandings and differences that have so often separated me from others, from all of life. I have longed to receive the blessing of peace and to give peace as one of life's most precious gifts. Yet, as I turn to any media, I am overwhelmed. War and violence, loss and suffering, countless millions locked in tragic struggles that have spanned generations. I cannot be a world leader, a great teacher giving voice to calls for peace. How can I respond to a need so vast? I know that the heart that feels that need must show the way. I turn now within. In the heart, I find the center of the storm. I find what I have sought. Peace is far more than the absence of strife, just as the bright light of day is more than the absence of darkness. I touch peace when I touch the compassion of the heart, and that compassion has no limit and no boundary. Just as a butterfly's wings can stir a storm a continent away, so my kindness may stir unknown tides of awakening in my world. I will bring peace to that square foot of earth on which I stand. Here, in my own mind, I will sow the seeds of peace. I will recognize thoughts of violence, fear, and blame, and in my own heart and mind and life, I will stop the war. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. Like ripples on the surface of a still pool, expanding to touch every shore, I will bring some small gift of peace to everyone and everything I meet. A word, a smile, an action, an intention, always treasured, always shared. My small choices cannot meet a need so great, but I do not walk the path of peace alone. I join hands with beloved community, and together we will craft a vision that calms the storm, heals the wounds, and builds the bridges to a world made safe and whole and just. May all people in every time and place be free from suffering. May all have peace. In this sacred moment, in this sacred center that cannot be lost, I center in my breath. As I breathe in, I touch that vision we all seek. And as I breathe out, I make peace real with my next step.
Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folk below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their very own. Go ahead and hit your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. Justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. So the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they kill. Came an answer from the kingdom, with our brothers we will share all the secrets of our mountain, all the riches buried there. Now the valley cried with anger, mount your horses, draw your sword, and they killed the mountain people, so they won their just reward. Now they stood beside the treasure on the mountain, dark and red, turned the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day on the bloody morning after. One tin soldier rides away.
Yet another storm of wars raging in this one single world we share. Putin's disregard for international law and sovereign nationhood has added yet another layer of burden to the spirits of so many people. In its regard, we may well not agree with each other on what ought to be done in response, what we ought to do, what our government ought to do. Odds are pretty good that we'd be similar, or at least not as divergent in our thoughts of what should happen as we here among this group as we would be in a broader context. But responses are called for. From our beginnings, Unitarian Universalism has a complicated history with war. We have stood on, as Unitarians, as Universalists, and as Unitarian Universalists, on opposing sides of many, many conflicts. And unlike the lyrics to one of our songs this morning, that protest song, at this point in human history, there may still be a need for someone to study war. Why in the world would I say that? Well, there's that old adage about history repeating that shows up in various forms along with debates over who originally said it. Apparently, Irish statesman Edmund Burke is often misquoted as having said, "Those who don't know history are destined to repeat it." Spanish philosopher George Santayana is credited with the aphorism, "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it." While British statesman Winston Churchill wrote, "Those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it." Things we may want to believe will lead us away from our inclinations. Things we may want to believe will lead us away from our inclinations have not yet done so. We talk and sing of peace. We work for peace. We dream of peace. But we achieve it only in inches at a time. And a very, very, very long perspective is called for to see even that. If we think about how long the earth has been here, how long our predecessors before modern human came along were here, and the fact that since Homo sapiens showed up on the planet, there have only been 15,000 generations. And since what I would consider a nice way to think of the possibility, the concept of universal love only happened 50 generations ago. The idea that across the world, people are trying to carry that banner in the face of conflict, when their lives are threatened, when their livelihoods and families are threatened, when we have the capacity to see what goes on elsewhere in real time. And try to do something about it, we may still need to study war. The Hoover Institute noted that studying the causes and nature of armed conflict reveals that technological progress, better education and nutrition, global trade, and increased prosperity has not eliminated or reduced wars, but may often have made them more brutal and more destructive. Clearly, we have not yet arrived at the answer to preventing war. I think it was Margaret Atwood wrote, "Wars happen because the ones who start them think they can win." Public opinion, who was it that made that quote? It was everything. Lincoln. Public opinion is being swayed in divergent ways all across the globe. I don't know anything about war. I know what I've seen on television growing up as a kid. I know what families have lost. I know that at military academies they study strategies and the cost and the circumstances, the contexts of all of these things to try to discern better ways to prevent or minimize what will be effective in war when it comes up. How many times have we heard through history that this is the war to end all wars? I mean, even that one has multiple people credited with saying it. I know Churchill was one of them, one of the last ones. But the first one, I think, was in 1914, during World War I. The only way that we will get away from war is when humankind evolves enough to understand the futility of it. And evolution is slow. We don't have all the answers, so we have to live into them. Often we talk about here that peace is hard. Holding a center that carries the peace Larry was talking about is hard. It's not my inclination, and I'm lousy at it. But everything I do that makes me that much better, however outwardly imperceptible it may be, if I can notice it, it's a change. If I can bring that much more peace into the evolution of humankind, I am doing that much to further the cause of peace in the world. Now, when conflict comes, we are, as civilians, advised to stay out of the way of the professionals. And frankly, I cannot possibly compete with the arsenal my next door neighbor has. So if it comes to fisticuffs or weapon to weapon, I lose. My purpose is to try to further what is possible. And that arc that I still believe is moving towards peace and justice. I watch the distance and recognize unsavory potentials, like global authoritarians deciding that the enemy of their enemy is their friend. Most of those who are most comfortable with stockpiles of armaments don't share a whole lot of my views. I know there are some who do. All I can do is what I can do. And all that is to keep making me the best I can be. Keep finding ways with intention of living into peace, living into the answer of the visions that we have held for the existence of humankind. We need each other to get better at that. We need time together to help us keep our hope, to help us keep our light. There are all sorts of efforts we can pick to support, to help with the refugees, to help with soldiers, to help care for the planet in the meantime, or the children, or pick one, pick 10, and do what you can. If we focus on what we cannot do, we defeat ourselves. So focusing on who we are and what we can is the best strategy we will probably ever have. Would you join me, please, in singing "We'll Build a Land"? Just the first and fourth verses, I believe they're the ones that will be on the screen. And Miss Susan has to go from putting that on the screen to playing it on the piano. She with the many hats.
Oh, can I tell you one announcement we forgot? Melissa Lewis will be here this afternoon for the food pantry. And they want Jiffy cornbread, cereal, and canned soup. She'll be here from 2 to 4 if you can bring your food by. And you can also pick up a copy of the Layla Slide book if you want to do adult gardening. That's all I got.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where all is one family, anointed by God. May then be a peace where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come, build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, till like oaths of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come, build the land, my people we see. Come, build a land where all is one family, anointed by God. May then be a peace where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing We haven't done it yet. We keep trying, we get a little bit better. So let's keep giving it a chance. After the words, a quiet. After the songs, a silence. After the crowd, only the memory recalls the gathering. Peace and justice have need of you after the words, the music, and the gathering. May God, as you are given to understand God, grant you the depth of dedication to justice. May God, who we understand in many ways and by many names, grant you the will to be an apostle of peace. May we all see what is. May it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For if not us, who? If not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice with the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are called to do. And this is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge, to be the living embodiment of our principles, to be about the work of building the beloved community, to be a people of intention and a people of conscience, listening for the openings, grounding ourselves in compassion, love, peace, and holding the vision of hope. Amen. Blessed be. So be it. Thank you for coming today.
Two, three, four.
There's no way to tell from here what only time makes clear. Elements far and near in play, opening up the wounds go deep. Lessons come free, but never cheap. All that we have is now, and if we wake somehow, past all the noise and dense debris, we'll find the picture more complete. Under the blunders we repeat. Oh, I get weary and my spirit gets low. Sometimes I admit I let the light go. I've got to do something to fill my soul back up. Get the dark emptied out and find my way back to love. Let nobody take your cool compassion's the guiding rule, and earth the providing rule we share. The future will stretch out